Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. It's finally time for protoViolence. I'm very excited. I just started the game and it's asking me for a name. You know what I'm gonna try and put first, right? Oh, it allowed me. Okay. We're in. Oh, I'm so excited. If you missed Malviolence, you should go back and watch it. Today, we're actually starting the prequel because I decided to play by release order. So, hence the little funny bit of me writing caution there in the beginning. I am now impersonating a character. Oh no. But I'm very excited to start. So, let's get right to it. Over 2 decades ago, Dr. Iris Tsai wrote me a recommendation for an up and coming international security agency. At the time, I was overjoyed just to be on track. Get to a growing field early, do good science while the fires of invention are still hot, then dip out with distinction before the coals grow cold. But these days well, let's put it this way. The first time my name showed up as a footnote in a cybernetics textbook, I called my parents and invited my friends to dinner at my favorite restaurant. Half a year ago, when I got a write-up in the East Coast Medicine Review, I didn't even open the copy they sent me. So when Iris announced her retirement, I assumed that her ennui was a little more advanced than my own. It was a nice party. She was surrounded by friends and coworkers, lauded by her peers and praised by her subordinates. And yet the whole time she looked hollow. Fear of retirement, I theorized. I couldn't have been further from the truth. Stop, the organization I've dedicated my life to, has always been on the forefront of cybernetics. The bleeding edge, some would say. Perhaps too literally. We took risks for the greater good, and we're grateful to every volunteer and veteran that assisted us. But now we're pushing all the wrong boundaries, taking science, my science, in a cruel new direction that I cannot abide. Am I Deirdre? Because the fruits of my research are being used to experiment on children. I cannot fathom how STOP got so far out of hand. But I can find out. I'm not powerless, and the architects behind these new programs aren't fools. If I can present a proper case against this, show them the pain hidden between the numbers and the suffering they're whitewashing over in pursuit of percentage points, I have hope that things can be made right. But hope that is dwindling. I thought I granted peace to the world with my research. But maybe all I did was wreath a new Nero. Sorry for messaging you at this hour. Couldn't sleep. Having second thoughts? No. My transfer's already been approved. Next Monday, I'm entering the Youth Training and Development Initiative as a supervisor, but... But? Iris, you've worked with STOP longer than I have. Can you tell me anything else about the YTDI? Nothing that will help you sleep. Well, that's reassuring. I still can't believe this is happening. STOP's full of scientists, not... Good scientists follow the science wherever it leads, right? And I recall a brilliant researcher concluding years ago that the younger the patient, the better the cybernetic sync rate. Okay, so I'm Deirdre. That research was intended for stop agents, volunteers, heroes if you prefer, not anyone under 18. Well, the higher ups would beg to differ. They tell you that they're providing these trainees with an education and a guaranteed future. Worth an eye or an ear, right? I don't want this to be my legacy, Iris. Where's the greater good in grafting dangerous tech onto children? When STOP was founded, that good was clear. Back when the world was in turmoil and cybernetics were getting slapped onto terrorists and madmen in vet clinics and garages. STOP put an end to that. We put an end to that. And then we kept going, so it wouldn't happen again. Like I said, not the best topic of conversation if you're looking to put your mind at ease. But do try to get some rest anyway, Deirdre. From the sounds of it, you have a long week ahead of you. I'll do my best. May 13th, 2070 something. Oh, the Panopticon. Do you guys remember the Panopticon puzzle? I do. It took forever. This is beautiful! I don't know, Panopticons are one of the concepts that's... It's not a concept. I know that there are some prisons that are Panopticons. But I absolutely hate the idea of a Panopticon. I absolutely hate the idea of always being watched. So I guess that's why. But it scares the crap out of me. My honest first impression, this is beautiful. Natural light trickles through frosted glass, enveloping the courtyard, below in a warm, soft glow. From the bridge I'm on, I can even see green. Grass, flowers, trees, an oasis of natural beauty, full of life, and full of laughing children. I can't help but wonder if I made a wrong turn. There aren't any stark surgical scrubs or hospital gowns, and the air smells clean. Not disinfected. But inevitably my eyes are drawn towards the towering column that pierces the building's center. It's a dark monument, one with few doors, no windows, and a very heavy shadow. My skin prickles. What purpose could...
Not lost already, are you?
My train of thought's grim path is cut short by a familiar, husky voice.
Angie, it's wonderful to see you again. Same to you, Daedra.
As usual, Angie is formal, but I recognize the warmth in her words. It's been a long time since we've talked face to face. For sure. I didn't think we'd get to work together again. But not every career paths the straight line, right? No, definitely not. Happy as I am to be working with you, I was surprised to learn that you wanted to transfer here. You're Dr. Tan! I'm reading her neck thingy. Thingamabob. ID. Neck ID tag. I remember the word. I always thought of you as married to the crafts of cybernetics and nothing else. I was going to say squeamish. I suppose there's more than meets the eye. I suppose there is. I understand you're planning to write a case study on the work we're doing here at the YTDI. Funny. You've always been more interested in theory than application. Then again, you've always been a pioneer as well. I mean, it's a new program based on my research. Why wouldn't I observe it? Oh no, I think it's fantastic having you, of all people, here. Going out of your way to help us improve the YTDI, that's a dream come true for all of us. In fact, no. I don't want you to get too deep into discussion on your first day. Your time's valuable, so how about I give you a tour? Oh. Well, I did request one, but you didn't have to. No, trust me. There's a lot here. More than we can cover in a day. But we should be able to go over the basics. Places, permissions, practice standards, that sort of thing. And who better to help you find your footing than an old colleague? Alright. Where to first? Awesome! I'm not a professional tour guide, but I'd say the courtyard would be the best place to start. Lead the way. So, do we like Angela? I'm not sure I like Angela. If she's experimenting on children. By the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, but this game has even more accessibility options. You can also get images descriptions if you need them. But I have the sound effects description turned on for myself because I am hard of hearing. For example, right now, the walking, I didn't hear anything. If there was no description, I'd just be okay. I didn't hear any walking. So I really appreciate the accessibility options. So that's why there's so much greenery. Of course, we want our trainees to be as healthy as possible, both physically and mentally. And while it might be hard to see the benefits on an MRI, being around trees and plants really does do wonders for the brain. For instance, several observational... Okay. I didn't skip it. Deirdre's just like, nah, I'm good. Thank you, I know trees are good. You don't need to go into detail about how trees are good for you. No, Angie, I believe you. Actually, I think I feel it myself. We installed it for all the trainees' sake, but if it helps the staff stay sane as well, that's a nice bonus. That reminds me, you should see the classrooms too. So we'll take these stairs and go through these doors. Oh, after you, of course. And if we just go down this hallway. We're here. Bit of a walk, isn't it? Must be easy to get lost. I suppose. But you get used to it. Anyway, this is where the trainees get educated. Also, another thing that I'm appreciating is that there's such a leap from malviolence to protoviolence. Sure, in malviolence, it was just mostly us alone. And then caution would come in every now and again. But the interactivity of the different kinds of text boxes, I really like that. It helps dialogue in this case flow a lot better. Oh, and what does that involve? Well, we've gotten all the core essentials. Maths, literacy, self-defense, phys head. Pardon? Physical education. Not PE! No! Don't do that to the children. No, actually, you have to do that to the children. It's important. That's the only thing that they're doing here that might be okay. Ronnie, they also talked about math. Math is not okay! Don't do that to the children! Leave the children alone! No, I mean, self-defense? Oh, don't make that face. It's not that serious. Gym mats and padded gloves and whatnot. At their age, the trainees wouldn't hurt each other even if they tried. And do they ever try to hurt each other? The world's a dangerous place. Our trainees know better than most their age. The earlier we teach them how to protect themselves, the better they'll be. I suppose you're right. But it's not all schoolwork and drills. The trainees get to do fun stuff too. I mean, we passed an arts and crafts center just a moment ago. Yeah, we made the kids fight themselves. But they can also do origami. You know? Tit for tat and all that. You should see some of the stuff they make in there. We might have the next Mark Rothko or Agnes Martin on our hands. I know, that's if I know who those people are. Me too. Me too. I also nod. Fine art was never a favorite subject of mine. Well, I'll have to check it out another time. Yeah, you ought to. Maybe I'm going about this the wrong way. You want to observe a trainee for your case study, correct? Yes, that's right. Why do you ask? We've got a class going on right now. Should be literacy at this time of day. You're suggesting I choose my case study subject right now? Could give you a much better idea of what we do, seeing how the trainees actually go about the day. Come on, look over here. Don't worry, they won't notice us. They're all preoccupied with writing exercises, it looks like. This is a classroom? I've seen medical libraries with more noise. Well behaved, aren't they? You can thank the core curriculum designers for that. Our trainees are showing a 34% increase in memory retention compared to a same age control group, short and long term. That's very impressive. And it sounds extremely authoritarian. Yeah. Yeah. I know that I know the future because I played protoViolence first. But maybe let children be children and be loud and whisper about in class. Isn't it? The bell could ring right now and they'd still be glued to their work. Oh no. Oh, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. If this were any other education program, they'd all be fiddling with their fine liners, glaring at the clock, diddling in the margins. Like that child over there? Caution. Right, that one. He's a bit of an outlier, statistically. Really? But I thought your curriculum was... Well, it's not 100% effective. Sometimes you get stragglers. It's me. I'm the straggler, usually. Oh boy. But we don't leave them behind. All they need is a little extra motivation. I struggled in school, but no one ever noticed that I did. Other than, like, maths and, physical education. In arts. those are the three things that I couldn't lie that I wasn't struggling. It's not that I had a hard time understanding the curriculum or anything, but just being in school was very hard for me. So I always did my best to appear that I knew what's going on. So the teachers wouldn't single me out like this because I already had enough of a hard time with dealing with my classmates. I couldn't have also the teachers like singling me out. So I just appeared to be the prodigal child, except on those three subjects that I just couldn't lie, that I couldn't. I have no coordination. In arts, I cannot make a straight line with even with a ruler to save me. But yeah, I at least I got passing grades, you know. And then as I got older, I didn't have to take those subjects anymore, so that was nice. When I finally got to choose what I wanted to learn. There, the teacher's already taken notice. Oh no. What are you gonna do to him? Is taking him to the front of the classroom? Is he is he being yelled at? Yelled at? The teacher might be raising their voice. Hold on, why are the other children going up with him? They didn't do anything wrong. Well, that's the extra motivation I was talking about. All trainees get sorted into squadrons. Squadrons. Like soldiers? Like birds, I'd say. They're close knit. We expect each squadron to fly at roughly the same pace, so if one of the member underperforms, the entire group is made aware of it. So if you fuck up, besides being yelled at and abused by your superiors and teachers, then you're also going to have your classmates bully you afterwards. Excellent. Hmm. I know it looks a little inflexible, but they're better off learning these rules early. I'm not sure that. Huh? He he smiled at me. Oh, they're supposed to stand perfectly still for full 5 minutes, so that's. Might have to refocus. I've made my decision. Oh, good. So, which trainee? I want that boy to be my subject. And why him specifically? I can't give a concrete answer. I suppose I'm going with my gut. That's not very scientific. Then why don't we call it an intuitive choice made by one of the world's leading cybernetics researchers? Right. But as I said, that particular trainee is something of a statistical outlier. Exactly, that's why I have to study him. Because he is different. He's not like the other girls. Therefore, I gotta study the ones that work a bit different. So if to see if everything works the same way for them as well. It's But as I said, that particular trainee is something of a statistical outlier. Then taking a closer look at him would help us correct any inefficiencies with the program, no? I suppose I can't argue with that. God, I've seen hospital. Oh,
All right, D.
about to say, God, I've seen hospitals less sad than this place, but I think it is the medical bay.
Here's where his quarters are.
Oh, it's not a hospital. Oh. Ah.
You're certain this is the one you want to use for your case study?
Yes. Again, I've made my decision, Angie.
Right. Right. Just wanted to confirm.
It is confirmed. Now, ta-ta.
Training C0458?
Could you come here, please? I want to introduce you to someone. She's a visitor. One, just for you.
Huh? A visitor?
Try to be quick, though. She's a very busy lady with a lot to get done today. Oh. Wait a minute. You're the lady I saw in class. Indeed she is. What's S4174 doing behind you? She wanted to come, so I let her. What a good friend you are. But this meeting is just for you, CO458. So, S4174, you're free to... Is that big of a deal, Angie? I don't think there's any harm in meeting like this. Roommate! Right. Then why don't you introduce yourself to the lady?
Well, allow me.
Please try to keep it short. We only have so much time. I have all the time I want. Shut the fuck up, lady. Ah, cute!
Nice to meet ya. I'm Pavel.
Nice to meet you, Pavel.
Though most of the people here only call me CO458.
Serial number. Standard procedure is that we keep data collection unbiased. Plus, the first class had like 3 Emmas and 4 Quins, so... Right. What about you, lady? What's your name? Well, Angie, how should I respond? Tell the kid your name! I've never worked with children before. Right. You can give him your name, no big deal. The trainees do like to call me Dr. Angie. Got it. Then you can call me Dr. Deirdre if you want. Dr. Deirdre. Dr. Deirdre. Dr. Deirdre! That's a nice name. Has anyone ever told you that? Not, recently. Oh! Wanna introduce yourself too? Well, the floor's all yours.
Hello. I'm, Shreya.
Shreya is such a beautiful name. I'm just on top of. I gotta smile. You got this, Tree. Look, Dr. Deirdre is waving to you. Oh, goodbye. Shreya is my roommate. Normally we stick together. If I'm around, chances are she is too. I see. Are you too close? Oh, we're besties. We never go anywhere without each other. Except for class. I wish we weren't in different squads. Hey, D. Sorry to butt in, but I'm afraid we don't have all the time in the world. How am I supposed to study him then? Unless you want to skip out on the research labs for today. No, I do want to see them. let me just wrap up here. It's lovely to meet you, Pavel. Starting next week, I'll be interviewing you. Interviewing me? About what? To be honest, I haven't quite decided yet. But I like to talk about your hobbies, your classmates, your future. Lots of things like that. Oh, I can do that. But I'm confused. Why me? That's a good question. Because I picked you specifically. Why did you pick me specifically? That's the word. Pavel is like me. I also struggle with words. Well, you stood out in class. I saw you and I thought you'd be interesting to talk to. Makes sense. My teacher says I'm like a dandelion in a field full of roses. That's one way of putting it. But wait, what about your friend? I promise she won't be alone for long. Once I'm done talking to you, you can go back to... What do kids do these days? I don't think these kids do the same things as normal kids do. I haven't been around them in so long. Back to, playing. Did I guess it right? Oh, thank God.
Sound reasonable?
Yeah. It's a deal.
Panopticon. Panopticon.
Sorry if I rushed you a bit back there.
I realized I might have come across as grouchy earlier. You are grouchy. I don't like you, lady. It's just... We've all been working a lot of hours lately. It wears on you, you know. I know, it's fine. Not like I was much better in the past. Oh God, don't remind me. Why were you taking lead on artificial spleen development? It was like you were in a trance. If I gave you one little tap on the shoulder, you'd snap up like a cobra on a rake. Yes, I remember how you put it. Those were long days. By the time we pushed through, I never wanted to see another culture sample as long as I lived. Hear, hear. So Angie, about those research labs? Right. From here, the fastest route would be... Case study report. 13th of May, 2070 something. Initial supervisory report. Though it has been advertised as a youth education program, it is now my understanding that the purpose of the Youth Training and Development Initiative, YTDI, is to prepare its trainees for cybernetic enhancement and eventually employment within STOP. While it is known that biotech synchronization rates are inversely correlated to age, the side effects on individuals below the age of 18 are not fully understood at this time and may be more severe than they would be on an adult mind and body. Furthermore, I have ethical concerns about the purpose of the program and how its participants are selected. As supervisor, it is my intent to observe that the YTDI's operations are and ensure that the health and well-being of its trainees are properly upheld. As part of my duties, I intend to engaging on a focused case study of trainee CO 5458 to observe its development under the YTDI's curriculum. For compliance purposes, our one-on-one conversations will be recorded. Dr. Deirdre Destrange. A month later. Ooh, investigation! Okay, it's 2070. But we still use stickers to reinforce having kids help us. And we like Roach Man. Dr. Deirdre's report. June 12th, 2070 something. This report marks the 1 month of trainees C0 C0 458's case study. In this time I have observed several facts. In this time I have observed several facets of the YTDI's operations, and now believe that I have a firm grasp of the day-to-day activities of the trainees. The majority of trainees selected for YTDI come from orphanages. Upon arrival at the YTDI, trainees are separated into squads similar to the ones utilized by stop field agents. Formal education takes place entirely within these squads and involves tuition in literacy, mathematics, self-defense, etc. Outside of the classroom, trainees have access to several extracurricular activities, including craft work, sports, and video games. Ah, hell yeah, they have video games. While these activities are beneficial for fostering bonds and growth between children, I find it notable that they overlap with the activities undertaken by stop operatives in the record period after the implementation of new cybernetics. This includes sewing for hand-eye coordination, video games for reaction speed, etc. Oh, I wonder if you like to play Mario Kart with Shreya. Maybe they used to play it together then. Oh. The standard of care seems to be at least sufficient. Pavel has expressed that it is a significant improvement over his previous lodgings. Still, I have some questions to raise with Dr. Tan later. Dr. Deirdre Strange. My diary. June 6th. Part of me just wants my thoughts to blow up with the wind. Putting them to paper will have to do for now. Besides, all the blue light was making my eyes ache. The trainees are all orphans. I'm not surprised. But I am surprised that the YTDI isn't much different from a standard boarding school, militaristic dressing aside. Comparing it to how Stop's first few batches of field agents were housed, the accommodations here are downright luxurious. Still, that's comparing volunteer soldiers to abandoned children. A strange analogy, to put it mildly. And for some reason, the trainees' meals consist of lab script, and only lab script. Why? It's true that lab script contains all the nutrients they need to grow healthy and strong, but it's intended for typical in vivo test subjects. I've seen the size of the budgets that STOP works with. They can definitely afford to feed these children real food. At least the education is world class. Clearly STOP spending was put to good use here. One time Angie took me to a literacy lesson. Out of the blue, she asked a trainee to recite part of King Lear, and the girl belted it out like it was on a switch. I don't know how useful that skill was, but it's definitely impressive. Another time, the two of us watched as a teacher taught a squadron field pharmacy in the courtyard. If someone eats this mushroom, how would you counteract its effects with only the items in your bags? How long do they have before their airways close? It was intense to say the least. At times the teacher's questions felt more like threats. But the building itself is immaculate. Practically sparkling. If my shoes track dirt as I walk in, it's wiped away by the time I walk out. Even sub pirate quarters don't agonize over cleanliness to this extent. I just wish they showed that much care for the trainees themselves. Like that boy, Pavel. For formal reasons, I can't mention it in recording sessions, but I know his name is Pavel. Was taking his name necessary? Are they that concerned about observer bias? He's an orphan. His name might be the only thing his parents ever gave him. Why scrub it away like it's something dirty, a stain to be removed? The boy's lonely too. Yes, he has Shreya, but she isn't part of his squadron, his pre-assigned social group. His squad mates exclude him outside of class. They don't let him play with them, so Pavel is often in the Arts and Crafts Center, sewing or knitting by himself. And it's not much better in class. Kids roll their eyes when he's paired up with them for group tasks. Sometimes they'll go behind his back and ask the teacher if they can swap for someone else. Thankfully, the teachers never concede to Pavel's squad mates, but that hasn't stopped them from asking anyway. I think a lot of this could be solved if the kids weren't pitted against one another. All the trainees have their hobbies, but Pavel doesn't have much else. I know he likes superheroes, so I'll bring him some comics from the YTDI's library. Knowing Stop, I suspect the books are vetted, but they're still a strange, so I might find something that'll make him smile. Maybe I could even use it to teach him. It certainly doesn't seem like actual teachers are interested in personalizing the learning experience. That's how they became Dr. Danger and Caution. Oh. I also bought a pack of stickers for him. The children is itchy. Grape stickers are cool. He thinks grape stickers are the coolest. I know it. What am I doing? I'm not a child psychologist. Couldn't even qualify as a pediatrician. I really jumped into the deep end with this case study, didn't I? If I weren't senior Stop staff, I'd probably sacked by now. Maybe grape is lame. Maybe orange is the way to go. God, I don't know anymore. Gerstu's one, I need to find out. D. Oh. I'm glad I played Mild Violence first. I can appreciate all these little things now. June 12th.
All right, CO458, I've started recording. Before you fall over from all that wiggling.
Yay!
I'm just super excited. I'm glad to hear that. But you can relax. We're just talking today. Really? Huh. My cheeks are numb from all that greening. I can't imagine. In fact, I think I did the same thing with my school's photos. You did? I guess so. Though I stopped because, well, it made me look like a dork. That's pretty harsh. How'd you? You still kinda do. Okay. Have you ever been called something like that before? A dork? No, never. Well, maybe a few times. But the other kids don't know anything, so it's their loss. What don't they know? Then when I grow up, I'm gonna be super famous and super pretty and have billion friends. Oh, cross my fingers for you. Anyway, we're starting to veer off topic. And I only have so much time, so. Why don't I ask you some things?
Okay. What do you want to know?
For today, I have 3 questions. Pop quiz, huh?
Okay.
I'm ready to go. Great. Then let me just get my papers out. There we go. First question. How did you come to join the YTDI? What do you mean? I mean, before you became a trainee, where did you live?
I lived in an orphanage.
Oh. And what was it like?
I don't remember much, but it was pretty lonely.
There weren't many others there?
No, there was a bunch of us. But we shared rooms and beds and the adults' attention.
So you weren't treated as an individual? Yeah, I wasn't.
A lot of us ran around. It was pretty noisy, but I was always bored.
When it wasn't mealtime or school time or short time, I was stuck in a common room with most of the others. Because we had to share so much, we fought all the time. Really? Yeah. Like one time I went to play Scrabble board. Another girl said I couldn't have it because all I did was trace the board's grid with my fingers. So I said to her, "Nuh-uh, that's how you play Scrabble." And then she said, "You're always doing stuff wrong." And then I made a face at her. And then she pulled my hair. And then... I'm assuming you both got into trouble.
Yeah. I scratched her and she started crying. I got punished. I found a rule book later. She was right. I was playing their game wrong. I said sorry, but the way I play was fun too.
Interesting. How were you picked for the YTDI? You seem different from the other trainees. At least compared to the others in your squadron.
I don't know.
One day these people in white clothes came to the orphanage. They didn't want to play or talk to or anything. They just wanted to watch us for a week or so. And this loud person told me a bunch of other kids we had a bright. I think it was a fright. I think they got a slip of the tongue there. A bright future ahead of us. And they brought us here. You must have come from a world away, huh?
I don't think so.
I fell asleep on the bus because I couldn't sleep the night before. But when we got here, it wasn't even lunchtime. I see. Let's move on to the next question. Are you getting along with your squadron?
We're all supposed to get along with our squadron.
I guess that lands with what ING told me. But, it's okay. You can be honest with me.
Okay. Most of my squad mates are boring apple polishers. They hate me just because the teachers get mad at me and make us stay in class for an extra 10 minutes. It's not my fault class is dull. It's not like my doodles are bullying anyone.
Did you know any of your squad mates back at the orphanage?
No.
For some reason, I was put in a different squad from everyone else I knew. Squad sorting must be done randomly, trying to avoid a pre-established social grouping. Sorry, I just had to jot something down. What about your roommate? What do you think of her?
Roommate. You mean Shri? She's always really quiet most of the time. But once you get to know her, she's really smart and kind. And most importantly, she's my best friend. You told me that when you introduced her to me. Yep. She's also my first friend. And I guess my only one. When class is done, we talk about whatever we want and do things together. Oh, and she teaches me all kinds of stuff. Tutoring? Like a few weeks ago, she taught me how to do my hair. Huh. That's why you have a hairband there. I wear it all the time now. Is there anything else you do together? Filling coloring books, playing Mary Mac or Sailor Moon to the Sea. Oh, and we read. Though Shreya is way better than me at it. Like, way better. I heard the teacher say that she was 2 reading levels ahead of the rest of her squad. Wow, that's genuinely impressive. I know, right? She's so cool. Which brings me to my third and final question. When Shreya is not around, what do you like to do on your spare time? Sewing and knitting. When it's break time, I go to the arts and crafts room and make stuff. So far, I've made a placemat and a headband and a scarf. I should show you them sometime if you want. Maybe another time. Okay. Just let me know when you change your mind. Actually, there's one more thing I like doing. But the teachers say it's not proper. Shoot. The word's right on the tip of my tongue. I know it begins with an L and... is it literature? Yeah, that's the one. Anyways, I like reading comics. There's a lot less words than Shreya's books, but they're filled with cool pictures. I wish my heart was that cool. Well, you know what they say, right? Practice makes perfect. If you keep going, you'll get there where you need to be. Yeah, I'm one step ahead of you. That's why I doodle in class. So I can get good fast. Is there anything else you enjoy doing? Well, a lot of stuff I want to try, but class and homeworks is always on the way. Ugh. Sorry. I hope you can get more free time in the future. Yeah, me too. So, that's all the questions I have. I think I'm comfortable stopping here. Huh? You're leaving already? Yes, I'm afraid I'm still playing catch up with work. Playing? No, you know, you have your classes and... Oh, I get it. You got a homework too, huh? You seem like a very busy lady, Dr. Deirdre. More so than usual. But I should have enough time to dig out my Scrabble board. You have a Scrabble board? I do, right in my basement. Or was it in storage? Either way, I'll find it. And we can play it in whichever way you want. Really? Mm-hmm. You shouldn't underestimate me, though. You're talking to a Scrabble champion. Or, ex-champion. It's been a bit since I last played. Whoa, a Scrabble champion. I really do have to go now. But here, please take this. Consider it a thank you of sorts. Grape sticker! What's this? Special kind of sticker. If you scratch it... So cute! Smells like grapes! Yeah, it sure does. Is it, cool? Thank you, Dr. Deirdre! And, thank you for talking with me.
I'll see you next week, yes?
Keep bringing in awesome stuff like this, and I'll talk to you every day.
Oh, I can also see the phone now. The craft center was nice. I mean, that's got to be a good sign, right?
A good sign and a good thing are different matters. Come on, help me out here. Help isn't what you're texting me for, is it? Besides, I'm a lot more concerned about the militaristic conditions you reported. That can change. Yet every time you critique some part of the YTDI, Dr. Tan seems to resist. Angie's always been pretty rigid. She's not a bad person. Just very by the books. Dr. Tan is an associate director. She's been around for so long that she writes the book. No one's forcing her to say where she is. I could have easily been in her shoes, Iris. Not with her scruples. I never worked directly with Dr. Tan, but I know her reputation. She's got a savior complex. That's dangerous. What? She just wants to help people. I'm sure she believes that, but she works in cybernetics. And when you're holding a hammer, everything looks like a nail. You haven't seen her with the trainees. I have seen her with the trainees, and I didn't like it. Every time we pass by a group of them, she smiles and waves, asks how they're doing. They give her the biggest, sweetest smiles back. They don't do that to any other of the researchers. Deirdre. She's my friend, Iris. You're one of the brightest people I know. Maybe the best of your generation. Why are you looking away from the truth? You've seen the last script, the classrooms, the panopticon. You don't owe Tan your trust. Or anyone at Stop for that matter. They've given all their stamp of approval for all this and it smells rotten. We can heal that rot. If you say so. I just want to have faith that the colleagues and friends I've worked with for years. We've made the world as safe as it has been in decades. So I'm positive that things will get better. Angie included. Even a genius can't change the mind of someone who is not listening. That's why the case study needs to go on. I will make them listen. Right. Anything else you wanted to discuss? You know that trainee I chose to work with for my case study? Pavel? I bought him a grape-scented sticker the other day. He loved it. Well then, I take back what I said. Sounds like it's all rosy over there. Iris is so right, damn. Let's go, Iris. The next day. From the bridge, I gaze below at the courtyard. As the sun begins to set, its beams softly tint the YTDI's walls and floors a pale orange. It's comforting. Even the black of the pillar in the center of the room looks warmer than usual. How is this comforting? How is this comforting? This looks like the most uncomfortable place on earth, actually. Warm. I never thought I'd see YTDI that way. It's worlds apart from my first impression 1 month ago. Bessie, don't get brainwashed! Bessie! 30 days of observing classes, conducting interviews, and writing notes. Felt like seconds. I wonder if it's my age. The older I've grown, the quicker time passes. Summer, fall, winter, spring. All of it passing while I... Musing over my impending mortality won't get me anywhere. But YTDI does look warm right now. If there weren't any other people in the building, I'd go down to the ground floor and take a nap in the grass. Right now, I'm sure some of the trainees are doing the same. Children shouldn't have cybernetics. Or lab script diets. The YTDI is an affront to my research. Any sane person would agree with me. It's why I'm doing everything I can to shut it down, behind the backs of the people who run this program. But I can't object to giving children, unwanted children, a home, an education, a guaranteed future. They don't have to hunt for scraps or wake up each morning and search for shelter over their heads.
D!
Once again, Angie's voice cuts my thoughts short. Did I interrupt something? You're looking pretty contemplative. No, it's nothing. Could have fooled me. Am I that easy to read, Angie? Far from it. I've needed a lot of practice. Guess you've had plenty of opportunities to do so. So what can I do for you? Oh, it's nothing work-related. Not like I have trainee info to give you anyways. Just wanted a chance to catch up. You've been here for a month now? Would you look at that? 1 month exactly. Lucky guess. You want to take a stroll? They say walking and talking gets the blood flowing. Talking gets the blood flowing. More than standing here staring at nothing. Come on. We've got a lot to catch up on, don't we? Do I have to? Oh boy. We begin to walk around the bridge's perimeter. Our pace is slow, aimless, lazy even. And our conversation is just as meandering. See any films lately? Any takeout places you recommend? I know modern art is not your thing, but I think you design this new exhibit, and if you don't, you can pick up when you have dinner next time. As we chat, my whole body relaxes. It was like this in the beginning, waiting outside of stops that covered us, excited for Angie to take out our pre-weekend burgers and milkshakes. We were young and the world didn't make sense, but our work always did.
Hey, D. D?
I hear Angie calling my name, and my mind snaps back into focus. Is something wrong?
No. Nothing.
I was just wondering if you were ready to, you know, bring up what was going on earlier. Oh, that. No pressure. If you're not up for it, no, I am. I just need a moment. Take all the time you need. I took a deep breath to think about how to approach this. Actually, can I ask you a question? As a friend. Go ahead. I'm all ears. How did you end up working at the YTDI? That's a big question. It's one that's been on my mind a lot lately. You saw that classified file, yeah? Pardon me? How did you know about that? A disgruntled employee blew it up at us a few months back. Swiped a bunch of files taken out of context and tried to shop them out to anyone who'd listen. This was around when you were first curious about the YTDI, right? Yes. People asked me if I knew about it. Of course, at the time I didn't. Have the full picture. You know those animals' rights groups? The ones with the ridiculous PR teams? They demonize undergrads for dissecting rats. Blast the web with oversaturated gory photos, sensationalized blog posts, social media campaigns. The works. Cherry-pick their information to make normal scientists look vile and make themselves look heroic. But those lab researchers care for those animals like they were their own pets. There's piles of paperwork, elaborate onboarding procedures, frequent inspections, underwear filler. Even on a practical level, they discourage their suffering. There aren't any rats at this facility, Angie. Of course not. Just wanted to make an analogy. You know, people exaggerating, things like that. Okay. Then I apologize for... No, I'm glad you pointed it out. Don't want you to take anything I could say the wrong way. You were gonna tell me why you joined the YTDI? Right. We went off topic, didn't we? Everyone has a right to a bright future. Most of those trainees don't come from pleasant backgrounds. All of them are orphans. Many of them lived in places that they couldn't even feed them once a day. So if staff hadn't intervened, their futures would have been... So we trained them to be soldiers instead. Well, that's why I think the YTDI is a great potential, you know? It provides its trainees with housing, community. That's the thing! It provides you with a community if you fit the box. If you don't fit the box, you're bullied! You're put in the corner. And then you're putting cybernetics on the kids. And things might go wrong with that. And by giving them a secure life, the YTDI will prevent future crimes. So in the long term, the YTDI will contribute to stop raison d'etre. So only orphan kids from bad houses commit crimes? That doesn't seem like a thing that's true, actually. Exactly. And in the short term, we're changing these trainees' lives for the better. Are we, though? What if something goes wrong? What if they're like Pavel? Are we actually making their lives better? Still, seeing children receive cybernetic enhancements, that doesn't just seem right with me. I understand. You don't want to be remembered as the mother of cyborg children, do you? I don't have anything to say to that. She's spot on. We don't do anything here for fickle reasons. Subjects are only ever cybernetically enhanced if we feel their quality of life could be improved. That file you saw? All those photos? Every one of those children were physically disabled. But I saw there was a blonde girl with her eye. Trainee 02145, I remember. And ophthalmia. Her poor vision caused her to struggle in class, so we gave her a new eye. Now her essays are on par with some of the top students in her squadron. I see. Some of those trainees came here with congenital defects. Others with injuries from horrible... But you picked them! It wasn't a thing that randomly happened. You specifically picked disabled children to come here. You cannot tell me otherwise. Others with injuries from horrible accidents. We only ever use cybernetics to level the playing field between them and their abled squad mates. My shoulders feel... No! Your shoulders don't feel lighter! They picked the children that they wanted to bring here. So that they can, like 90% of the time, I'd say, put cybernetics on those children at one point, even if it's later on. My brow unfurrows. I'm relieved to hear that. And I'm relieved to know that my legacy hasn't been completely tarnished.
I want you to know if you have any concerns, you can always come and talk to me. Or just vent, if it's after hours.
Almost feels like old times.
Yeah, we're practically kids again.
Hey, want to come to our arts and crafts room? Wait, isn't it just for trainees? So? Most of them are in their rooms right now. Even that's true, I'm not good with D. I'm not expecting the next cloud gate or anything. Just to decompress. Fine, I'll come. Yes! But in return, I get to pick the restaurant for dinner. Oh, we're hanging out again. Just like old times. Just like old times indeed. Oh, 2 months later. My desk is starting to look a little unkempt. New case file? Regular conversations with Pavel have continued. Contrary to what I witnessed while observing his classroom, Pavel has been inquisitive and willing to cooperate with my study in our one-on-one interactions. It is my firm belief that Pavel's intelligence is not below the norm. Rather, the teaching methods used by the YTDI are insufficient to engage him. What his instructors have labeled as acting out appears instead merely to be an expression of boredom. Considering the number of children the YTDI has under its roof, I do not believe that Pavel is the only trainee having difficulty with their assignments. What a surprise! Who is surprised about this information? That there is not a model that fits all children! I have noted that his squad's instructors rarely encourage creative solutions to exercises, and instead prefer completion of tasks to a set rubric. Standards-based teaching methods often produce results that look good on a spreadsheet, but rarely result in significant information retention or well-developed critical thinking skills. On top of this, children with learning disorders are often left behind. Because yeah, you can put cybernetics on an eye, but you can't fix dyslexia with robots. What worries me is that Pavel's antics often result in his entire class being punished for his actions. The intent behind this measure is to emphasize that the squad is a unit. A failure on one member's part reflects on them all. Perhaps this is successful in other squads, but in Pavel's case, all seem to manage us to other him from his peers. Dr. Deirdre Destrange.
Oh, the video camera wasn't on.
Oopsie.
I like this face so much.
Guess the world will never know the results of our grand Scrattle match, huh?
It's quite a shame. Your skills have improved tremendously. But I lost again. Well, I was a Scrattle champion. You just learned this rule set a couple weeks ago. I mean it. You are very good. I think you go toe-to-toe with Shreya now. Oh-ho! You foolish adults finally re-evaluated my reading ability. Oh, wait. I don't think Shreya knows how to play Scrabble. Could you teach her? From what you told me, I think she'd also make a wonderful player. Maybe. I don't know if I have time, you know? What do you mean? Did something happen? Can I tell you a secret? Okay. My teacher asked me to stay behind in class. I thought he had spotted me drawing again, but he told me I didn't have to study anymore because one of the teachers had told to him. That's strange. What did they tell him? They said, I'm gonna go through my first processing. Processing? What is that? I don't know. None of us know. I mean, I know that everyone gets processed eventually. In that process, trainees graduate. And that when you graduate, you leave the initiative. That's rather vague. That's what I said. They must be hiding something. I don't know what's gonna happen to me. But when I think about it at night, I can't sleep. Makes my skin all prickly. But you wanna know what's really strange? None of my squad mates are getting processed with me. Is that unusual? Yeah. We always see the other trainees leave for processing in groups of 2 or 3 or 4. Never one. I'm not stupid. I know why I was picked. It's 'cause I doodle in class. 'Cause I forget my homework. 'Cause when it's time for group projects, none of my squad mates wants to work with me. 'Cause whenever I try to talk to someone, they always act so tired. My squad, the other trainees, even my teachers. I know they want me processed. I sense it even when they don't speak to me. Because they all hate me. I don't think that's true. No, it is, unfortunately. Shreya doesn't hate you. She's in a different squad. She doesn't have to be around me when we do class. If she was always getting punished because of me, well, I like you too. How about that? You're just saying that because I'm your case study thing. No. No. I mean it. You're a talented artist. Your excitement is infectious. You're much smarter than people give you credit for. And I think you're lovely just the way you are. Can I ask you something? Go right ahead. Could you visit me as soon as my first processing is over? Of course. I mean, my case study requires it. Pinky swear? Pinky swear. And if you break your promise? You can, break my finger. Really? No, it's not out. Please don't. But I'll come back for you, no matter what.
I promise.
I wasn't prepared for the number of trainees who were happy to be at YTDI. The number of trainees who were overjoyed just because they had clean clothes and sheets. And money doesn't necessarily buy quality, but Stopped really isn't shipping out on their schooling and board. They're practically throwing money at this program, even if the staff sometimes treat the trainees carelessly. The trainees are given a regular curriculum of maths, literacy, physical education, and self-defense, but the instruction is cold. I'm not a teacher, but I know that I only learned to love science because a physics teacher told me I'd be a good fit for her club. If she hadn't shown me personal attention, where would I be now? No amount of punishment could have made me Dr. Destrange. One time, I watched Pavel and his squadron line up to receive the results of their grammar quiz. It wasn't hard for me to guess on how well each trainee did. Some shied away from the squad mates, others threw their head backs in relief. But when Pavel arrived at the front of the line... What? I have to do another makeup quiz? But I studied really hard this time. Not hard enough, I'm afraid. The quiz will start at the time I wrote. See you then. No. That's gonna get in the way of my crafting time. Why can't it be... There's no point in throwing a tantrum. You're going to take the makeup quiz at the time I said, whether you like it or not. Now go. It's rude to hold up the rest of your squadron. Again? Alright everyone, 10-minute penalty. Line up against the whiteboard. Quietly. Pavel? You'll be in the middle. As Pavel dragged his feet to the front of the classroom, I watched the other trainees. Some of them rolled their eyes at him, others gave him a bitter glare. Given the way the teachers pitted the trainees against Pavel, I wasn't surprised they disliked him. To them, he was a dead weight to their squadron. An underperforming troublemaker. And to me, he was. Seeing no one help him left an indescribable emptiness in my chest. Children like him aren't dumb. If you treat them this way, they'll learn that their performance determines their worth as a person. I've known college students who found that level of responsibility overwhelming, but these trainees are elementary schoolers. They need coaching to get things through them. Frankly, I'm surprised there aren't more stragglers. I acknowledge the YTDI is a new program and STOP isn't an educational organization. Growing pains are par for the course. Angie's been listening to my criticisms. She's not stonewalling me, but she's offensive and passive at it. She's always ready to fire off statistics in response. Half of the trainees were illiterate before they came here. Now, 88% are performing above metrics. Meanwhile, when I asked about my own suggestions for the YTDI, she claims they're in the queue to be heard. That there's a long chain of command to go through. She is listening to me. Except when it comes to the use of cybernetics. Angie says that they're helping disabled trainees, but she brushes off their side effects as easily as if we were discussing fringe theories in the classroom. And whenever she does, I can't help but wonder. How are these trainees coping with the technology crafted into their bodies? Did they ask for those enhancements? Do I want my research to be associated with these procedures? Well, I'll try to be patient with Angie for now. Convincing people takes time. Besides, the YTDI has other problems. The trainees sleep in a panopticon. No matter where their rooms are, there will be guards and cameras peering inside. The games, books, and shows they have access to are limited in their themes. And I've seen more than one trainee tense up whenever I pass by their dorm's window. I'm sure the staff are miserable too. The guards eat their meals while they're on duty. The teachers' curriculums are stringent. And it's a wonder that the researchers can see their screens when they are blatantly ignoring what's in front of them. If Stop owns its own boarding school division or JROTC program, more power to them. But I wish the YTDI didn't have to be so cavalier with cybernetics. Overbearing with security measures? Draconian with education? I don't know. The more I think about it, the less I want to write. I hope Angie was right about my suggestions being in the queue. I have this dreadful feeling that change can come soon enough. D. Deirdre, did you censor anything from your talks with Dan? From what I can read, she's far from honest. Angie isn't some zealot. She's a brilliant scientist and a dear friend. I just need a little more time to get her on my side. It's been 3 months. When I said she was rigid, I wasn't kidding. But you know, talking to her made me think. If we rebuild the YTDI from the inside out, it could be a net positive for children everywhere. 4 months ago, you were afraid the YTDI would leave you with a foul legacy. That your research on cybernetic sync rates would make you the mother of cyborg children. Now you want to rebuild the YTDI? If they got rid of the cybernetics, I'm confident that STOP could turn the YTDI into a competent institution. Competent institutions don't feed kids lab script. I'm not going to burn everything down for a better future. About that. It's not incompatible with what you want, Iris. Think, Deirdre. STOP is a security organization, not a charity. They offer peace of mind for sale. They do anything to keep world leaders lining their pockets. Why else would they be enhancing children except for their own benefit? They only give cybernetics to physically disabled trainees that they choose to bring in. I doubt those trainees asked for them. This argument is unproductive, Iris. Look, let's say the YTDI was shut down tomorrow, like you clearly want it to be. Where would all these trainees go? Who else would have the resources and the will to take them all in? STOP didn't make the YTDI with kind intentions. I can tell you that much. Don't be so conspirational. Don't be so blind. Your research built the foundations for this program. I know. Then speak up! I love Iris. Let's go, Iris. Let's go, Iris. Iris, you're so right. Actually. Oh, my desk is getting messier and messier. What's the CD? Oh, is it another interview? Oh, that's the student that got the eye, right? No, it's Shreya. It's Shreya. Thank you for speaking with me. I'm sorry, by the way, about how sudden this all is.
It's okay. I can always do my homework tomorrow morning.
Though I might not be able to finish before class starts. Ah, your teachers already know about your interview today. They agreed to give you an extension. I didn't know they gave extensions. They've never given them before? No. In my squad, we're supposed to move at the same pace as each other. Like a flock of birds, right? So an extension for someone who follows behind is... From what your teachers have told me, you seem like the leader among your squadron. I got the impression that they didn't expect the mission assignments to deter you. Does that make you feel better? Good. Then, please introduce yourself.
My name is Trainee S4-174.
You told me your name the first time we met. Why not now?
I didn't want C0-458 to feel alone.
I see. What was your life like before you joined the YTDI? You don't have to talk about anything that makes you uncomfortable. It was very far away from here. I see. Thank you. I'll move on. Question 2. Are you getting along with your squadron? Honestly? Please. Honestly, I feel like I'm trapped inside glass. My squad's mates see me. They know I exist, but they don't know how to reach me. And to be honest, I don't know how to reach them either. It probably doesn't help out that they're weirded out by my arm. None of my squad mates are missing anything. That doesn't stop kids in other squads from getting along. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe it's that lady. The one with messy hair and dangly earrings. You mean Angie? Dr. Tan? What does she... She likes to meet me after class. Asks me how I'm doing with my homework. Asks me to write or carry things for a few minutes. Sometimes she'll take a roll of measuring tape and wrap it around my arm. And if I do well, she'd pat my head and give me candy. I thought candy was practically contraband around here. I don't mind any of that, but every time Dr. Angie takes me aside, she and my teachers tell my squad mates to follow my example. And I think some of them are just jealous of that. How do you feel about it? Sick to my stomach. I don't like working. I don't like being in the spotlight. They call me a hard worker, but I'm just trying to escape notice. Just trying to avoid arguments, fights, and the other kids. But my squad mates drag me into their messes anyway. They want Dr. Angie's attention. They want to be praised. They want candy, and they all want to be someone's favorite. My class scares me, Dr. Deirdre. We don't have to talk about them anymore if you don't want to. Please. Well then, what do you think of Pavel? Pavel. I like him. He's my best friend. He told me the same thing. That makes me really happy. When I first came to the YTDI, he was assigned my roommate. As soon as I entered my dorm, he marched over and swung his hand up to greet me. He had this big, goofy grin on his face. I've seen it before. Strangers that act friendly. bad people with fake smiles that are trying to get something from you. And I didn't know what he wanted from me. So for the first few weeks, I tried to avoid him as much as possible. Finding a quiet corner in the library, hiding in a bush in the middle of the courtyard. I thought he'd get tired of it after a couple of days, but somehow he'd always find me anyway.
One day, I couldn't stand it anymore. So I just asked him, "Why do you keep bugging me?" And you know what he told me? "You look lonely. I want to be your friend." He wasn't hiding anything. He didn't want anything from me. Somehow, I could just tell he was sincere.
And that's how you two became close. After that, I stuck with Pavel wherever I could. Playing games, writing stories. Sometimes he'd just sit in silence and read books from the library. I owe a lot to C0458. Because of him, my dorm's the one place I don't feel like walking on eggshells. But is something wrong? The camera. It's a standard model. Video, but no audio. No need to worry. It won't pick up on anything we say. Really? But in class we're told there have microphones. Some of them do, technically. But the mic's limited in range, so it'll only record poor quality sound. And since fixing poor quality sound is expensive, time-consuming, Stop usually keeps the mics off. I see. Did you want to continue? I'm worried about Pavel. You've been watching over him, right? Yes. So you've seen how they treat him in class? Yes. If you stay a bad student, you'll get a nasty punishment. One that'll change your life forever. That's what everyone whispers. When I first heard the rumor, I was terrified. I didn't want Pavel to. Not after everything he did for me. So, I tried helping him after school. I taught him how to concentrate in boring classes, or fake it. We read through the textbooks together. I even wrote him sheets of study notes. But no matter how hard he tried to get better, he kept being picked on. Even though he was improving, they kept singling me out and then he told me he was getting processed. Do you know what that means? No. But after he said it, he didn't want to look at me anymore.
They took him away last week. Without him, everything's so quiet. He's not flipping through comic books, or scribbling on his desk, or rummaging through my box of hairbands. Am I a bad friend for thinking he's being punished right now?
No. I wish I knew what to say. Aren't you a doctor? Don't you know what's happening to him? I'm sorry. I am as much in the dark as you are. But knowing Pavel, I'm sure he'll be okay. He's a strong boy. You think so? I know so. He is the center of my case study, after all. I hope you're right. I think I'll conclude our interview here. You look tired. Do I? Honestly, you look like you're about to fall asleep. Maybe. Would a parting gift help cheer you up? I have a pack of scented stickers. Here, choose whichever one you want. Here, choose whichever one you want.
Thank you, but I'll be alright.
You really don't want one? I thought they were cool. Oh. They were so cool that I clicked the menu by mistake.
Don't worry about me. Dr. Angie has me covered.
Unfortunately.
Save them for Pavel.
Focus study of Pavel is on hold while the subject undergoes processing. Observations of Pavel's former squad have continued in the meantime, with little to report. Without Pavel's presence, classroom is quiet and proceeds evenly. Conducted short interviews with trainees of his cohort. Anxiety about future graduations is high. Currently seeking clearance to visit Pavel in recovery. Will update after I have an opportunity to do so. Dr. Deirdre Destrange. Where could Pavel have gone? The security board told me that it would be at least another week before he'd return. Of course, they didn't mention anything about processing. Processing. It sounds scientific, but it could mean practically anything. If it happens to involve cybernetics, no, there is only so much they can do before puberty. It would be minor. It should be minor. Maybe even... Why am I still trying to rationalize this? I defer to stop and all its excuses despite having the proof right in front of me. They want to use my research to modify children. Why? I don't know, and frankly, it doesn't matter. If the YTDI really was serving the greater good, why have Angie and her co-workers acted so evasive? So secretive? I can't afford to be humble or gracious or cowardly anymore. I know more about cybernetics than every other researcher in their department put together. And yet, I allowed myself to be cowed. I acted respectably. I never caused a scene. Because I cared so much about appeasing Stop than doing the right thing. I can't look away anymore, so they shouldn't be able to either. I'll finish my reports. Trust it in their faces. Make them see what they've wrought. I'll be diplomatic, even if it means biting my tongue. And I'll write this. All cybernetics have limitations. If Pavel is being modified, the most they could do is enhance his optic nerves. Still invasive and perverse, but once he's endured the anesthesia and intense PT regimens, it ultimately won't affect his daily life. They wouldn't risk harming a valuable young subject with anything more extreme. Hopefully, the worst will soon be over. Pavel's still alive. Once he's gone through processing, I'll make every effort to place him in an environment better suited for a child his age. But first I need to think of an appropriate recovery gift. Something I can fit in my lab coat pockets. D. He's in processing. I want to get to see him for at least another week. I thought there would be more time. He's still so small. Is there anything you know about processing, Iris? Please tell me it's only skin deep. I'm sorry. I never oversaw any of the projects directly. By the time the YTDI was founded, I was already on the way out. Sure you have something on it, Iris. I know you. You keep tabs on everything. Not on this. Processing is kept under especially tight wraps at the YTDI. As you've guessed it, it is a step related to cybernetic enhancement, but beyond that, I should have done something. I should have used my authority, my expertise, to intervene before it was too late. Instead, I just stood by the sidelines. I never even raised my voice. I know I've been critical sometimes. Harsh, even. But I think this would have gone ahead anyways, no matter what you did. Really? From my impression of these people, definitely. How encouraging. Listen. I was given a polite exit, but your name still carries weight at stop. Your case study is compelling and detailed, and I have no doubt that the little boy is going to be more than happy to see you again once he's out of there. You just need to save your strength for the right time. And when that time comes, don't take no for an answer. Thank you, Iris. I just hope that I'm not too late. I'm nervous. Let's go. I know it's gonna happen, but I don't want it to happen, you know? I don't want it to happen.
Good afternoon, CO458.
I see you're back from processing.
Dr. Deidre? You came!
You sound surprised. I promised I'd visit, didn't I?
Yeah, but...
It's been a really long week. I kinda wondered if you'd forgotten. Never. What's this on the floor?
Oh, it's just a puzzle piece.
Shreya was working on finishing it while I was gone. But then I was wheeled back in and it got trampled on. She wasn't happy about that. I can't imagine. Here. I got you something. I figured you need to pick me up after processing.
Whoa!
There's some snacks from the outside. I promised it tastes nothing like script. I didn't know they made food so colorful and tasty. Glad I picked out something good. So, what have you been up to since processing? Just resting?
Well, I'm trying.
But Tree keeps bringing me classwork. I thought I didn't have to study anymore. That's very rude of them. I'm sorry, Pavel. You know, I've been thinking. You don't have to call me that.
You can call me Pavel! Didn't you break protocol for the gummies?
Alright. I'm sorry, Pavel.
Much better.
Is having a proper name important for you?
Indeed it is. It's a big deal for you too.
Not just anybody gets to call me by my true name. Oh.
Yeah. It's like I'm letting you use it. You and Shri, no one else. You're my inner circle. You get to know my secret identity.
Like a superhero, huh? Exactly like a superhero. Got it. I'll keep it hush-hush then. Have you been outside this room since processing? No. When I said I was bedridden, I wasn't exaggerating? Thanks. Got the right words for me. But yeah, being bedridden is really starting to bug me. It's like I got a house cold. You mean cabin fever? Whatever. Same thing anyway. Then what happened during your processing? Well, I was kind of getting my teeth cleaned. Like one moment I'm laying on this long hard table. They got this big light over me. Kinda looked like a spider with a bunch of eyes and legs. It was super bright underneath, and I was surrounded by all these doctors in white uniforms and masks. I was told to count down from 60, so I did. But then I fell asleep before I could finish. Then I woke up and... they took his legs? What? What happened? Was there something wrong with your legs? Wrong? No, nothing was wrong with them. But now they can give me better legs. You know, an upgrade. Better ones. Ones that allow me to run faster or jump higher. Like a real superhero, you know? Really, it's okay. If I just practice hard. I believe you, Pavel. You don't have to move. Please. You're very brave. Do you know that, Pavel? Of course I'm brave. Brave like a hero. Here. Hide these under your pillow.
Make them count. I'll be back in a week. Promise.
See? See you again, Dr. Deirdre. Oh, oh my god, I didn't know that they had taken his legs too. I thought it was his eye and his arm. I can't be a part of this. No one should be a part of this. It's not enough to leave. The fact that anything like this could happen in a modern facility. Maybe it was always naive to think that one case study could fix stop. But if so, what then? What now? I am absolutely appalled at the Youth Training and Development Initiative's decision to perform major amputation on trainee C0458. Improvements in synchronization rates are irrelevant. This technology was only ever intended for use in adults, save for rare exceptions. The relatively static state of an adult body allows for easier construction of prosthetics, and only a mentally mature individual can reasonably be expected to endure the inevitable side effects of cybernetic implantation. Let me be clear.
Rejection symptoms are not a risk, they are an inevitability. For all the advancements in biotech over the past few decades, there have not been enough to stop the body from revolting against artificial neurons when they are stitched to its muscles, or from realizing that the hunk of polyurethane and silicon in its skull is not a part of its gray matter. Medication can suppress the body's immune response and stave off seizures, but it's a patch, not a long-term solution. Despite these facts, C0458 was approved for a full transfemoral amputation and implant preparation procedure. I cannot conceive of a scenario that justifies the callous removal of 2 completely healthy limbs from a young child. The fact remains that C0458's quality of life has been significantly impacted for no reason beyond the YTDI's goals. If this is the level to which the YTDI is allowed to conduct itself, then it is clear to me that STOP has become little better than the organization it once worked to quash. There is no theoretical threat or future crime that justifies what I have witnessed. If this is what my research is now supporting, I would rather have never pursued it in the first place. Dr. Deirdre Desange. They took his legs. As if stripping him of his name wasn't enough. They ripped his legs off his body. Why? I can't think of any good reason for this. Pavel, sunlight that he is, said that they planned to give him better ones. Even tried to prove it, in spite of the pain. And the worst part is, it's not over. He hasn't graduated yet. Last time I tried to visit him, he'd been taken back for further processing. I had to find out from Shreya, of all people. The guards barely seemed to care. Asking about his absence was like asking about the garbage being taken out a day earlier. Someone else did the work, so they didn't need to know. They said all this while looking at me with that expression they always wore on duty. One of malaise, of superiority, of contempt. Funny how they pressed the kids to be smilingly obedient while the adults look like bored children. When I entered their room, I noticed a distinct coldness in the air. Shreya looked awful. Had she been eating properly? She seemed so frail. If she was taken to the operating table, now her chances of survival... I have to leave STOP. And the YTDI has to go with me. I don't want this, any of this, to be my legacy. As if. What's an academic supposed to do against an intergovernmental organization with unlimited resources and ever-growing supply of cybernetic muscle? Maybe I can follow Iris's example. This case report will be my indictment of STOP. My voice should still carry enough importance to damn it on my way out of the door. But if I try to make an impact with my exit instead of leaving quietly, what will happen next? If I say anything about those cages the kids are kept in, the courts will bury me, and I'll have to hope that STOP doesn't single me out extrajudicially. And if they do, I'll have to kiss my future academic opportunities goodbye. But so what? They can't expect me to keep quiet after everything I've seen. That one conversation with Angie still makes my blood boil. We were observing a physical education class. The kids were told to run laps to the point of exhaustion. And knowing the YTDI, they probably were forced to run past that point for research purposes. While the teachers were tending to them, Angie leaned over and whispered to me, "Look how strong they're growing. Healthy and smart and tough as nails. Isn't it incredible?" Then she looked back at the ranks and soured.
But there are still stragglers. Gotta iron out all the kinks eventually. After she said that, she turned her back to me. You know, if that squadron were enrolled in public school, some PSHE teacher would be coddling them by now. None of them would ever know how much they could achieve with just a little more pressure, with just one more push from someone who knows how much they can take. Back in school, I knew this kid, born with a hole in their heart, or maybe some large ASD. They had it rough, but they persevered. They didn't pity themselves, had pride. But the teachers insisted on coddling them, waiting on them hand and foot, carrying their books, giving them then extra exam time, letting them skip phys head. The adults around them let their condition define their life. By the time we graduated, I barely recognized them. Ended up more ghost in person. If I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't let them fail themselves like that. Does she think we're still friends? I've been speaking to her less and less. By now, she's basically just talking to herself. I hate seeing her inner ugliness rear his head. As soon as Pavel's healthy enough to graduate, I'll make my move. I'm not leaving Stop without him. I've got my 2 weeks notice lined up with Pavel's estimated graduation. The moment he's out of the system, I'm taking him and leaving. Smartest thing you've said in a while. Do you have any concerns? It's possible that they won't let him graduate. Promises for service rendered don't mean much to people who mutilate children. And if my case study is half as explosive as I'm hoping it to be, it's not the kind of thing that Stop will let circulate for long. There are plenty of people out there willing to listen to you. Not after Iceland are an internationally beloved crime-fighting organization. We don't have friends in PR or allies in the media. It'd be easy to paint me as another disgruntled former employee with a lack of direction in her career and looking for a book deal. Sorry, Deirdre. I wish I could tell you that won't happen. But even if things do go to shit on your end, allow me to give you a silver lining. When Pavel gets out, and he will, you can bring him here. Iris? Once upon a time, it was a garage. Then, it was an unrealized research lab with some living corridors. Now it's yours. No 5-star hotel, but it's not too bad this time of year. There's even a river nearby. I don't know what to say. You're just giving that to me? What did you expect? I'm a wealthy woman with very few hobbies. I would have ended up renting it out if I even remembered it was there. Much better for you two to get some use out of it. Thank you, Iris. I really mean it. I already owe you so much. Hey, the place is that big. I'll keep that in mind. You'd better. I don't want to hear any complaints about it being cramped down the line. Stay safe, Deirdre. I'll try. Let's go. September 9th.
Whoa, Dee. There's a fire drill going on?
There's about to be. What? Oh, no, just looking for Pavel. Can't find him anywhere. Pavel? Who's? Oh. C0458. Oh, it's okay. I'm certain he's around somewhere. I mean, it's very safe here. It's not like he could have just wandered off. Especially because we cut his legs off, you know? Of course not. And yes, it is very safe here. What? I'm not convinced that any of this is necessary. You're talking about processing? For starters. The post-op is never going to look pretty. You know that. You've seen it thousands of times. On soldiers. Volunteers. Adults. You didn't see the places we've pulled these kids out of. Filthy, overcrowded, underfunded. The facility is very clean. Very well funded. Doesn't make it right. Whatever your justifications are. I'm not sure I appreciate your tone. We've been nothing but transparent with you from the beginning. We've given you complete access to our building, our resources, even our subjects. I had to fight for you, you know? Then why wasn't I notified about Pavel's processing? Maybe you weren't on the right mailing list. There are no conspiracies here, Dee. You, of all people, had to have known exactly what the initiative's goals are. Angie, Look, I'm not in a mood to argue medical ethics with you in the goddamn hallway. Pavel's in recovery. He's fine. What? How?
This isn't some back alley surgeon for hire operation. We know what we're doing. Do you?
I also know what I'm doing. Getting him out of here.
Awful? Are you?
Oh God. Your head. Your hair. Your eye. It's...
Dr. Deidre?
Pavel, wait. I got you. Just stay right here. Has anybody been here to take care of you? Oh. Well... I think so. Shriya's been here at night a few times. Hasn't said much though. I pretend to be asleep because I think she might be scared of me now. She's probably worried about you. I'll go over and talk to her, okay? Okay. I really don't want to upset her. You don't have to worry about upsetting anyone, okay? You haven't done anything wrong. How are you feeling? I don't know. Tired and weird. It's alright. I'm scared. My graduation is soon and I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen. What else they'll do to me. Just close your eyes for me, okay? Pavel? He's asleep. They're going to tear him apart. Rearrange him again and again. And not just him. All the other trainees here. All the other children yet to come. Over and over and over. And for what? This is my fault. My research laid the foundation for this. My reputation funded this. I let this happen. I did this. There has to be something I can do. No, I have to do something. Something more than writing words on a goddamn page. That's it. I'll break him out. Prevent him from graduating. And burn this program down to the ground as we leave. At this point, this is even a call for justice. It's just plain cause and effect. September 16th. Everything is in its place again. And packed and ready to leave. Let's go. Met with Pavel today. Engaged in normal conversation and activities with the subject. Pavel became tired shortly into the session, so the visit was cut short after about an hour. Pavel's temperature and blood pressure appeared to be higher than normal levels during the visit, recommending an increase in immunosuppressant dosage. Recovery otherwise appears to be on pace with expected timeline. Dr. Deirdre Destrange. September 9th. I am going to destroy my life's work. They'll have to update the textbooks. A small footnote at the bottom of the page or in the back of the index. Dr. Deirdre Destrange went on to commit multiple terrorist acts. We in no way, shape, or form approve of her, blah blah blah. Fine by me, so long as they'll leave my name in. A curious kid might search for that crazy lady's name somewhere on the internet. Find a case report written by her and give it a read. Better a pariah who speaks the truth than a diligent researcher who can't stand to look at it. As I walk to the YTDI's halls, my stomach drops whenever I pass the spots I'll rig. Though the guards just stand around and glower at the kids, they are still combat-ready professionals. More than a match for little old me. If they ever catch on to my plans, they could drop me before I even enter the building. Funny. I haven't feared others being able to hear my thoughts since I was in college. I remember feeling guilty when I learned about thermal runaway in lithium-ion batteries. When I realized how easily this knowledge could be reapplied, I was convinced that there was something wrong with me. Maybe I was right back then. Compared to my usual work, making bombs is dead simple. I spent most of my time planning how I'd space out the fertilizer purchases. Looking back on it, smuggling Pavel's snacks made for a fine trial run. I have surefire proof that the guards won't check me. So why am I still so anxious? If it's not my legacy and it's not the process itself, am I afraid of what will happen to Pavel after all this? I can house him thanks to Iris. I have money. I can cook. But there's still so much I don't know about Pavel. How will I care for his medical needs? How will I educate him? Will freeing him doom him to a life in hiding? And Shreya? And the other children? Every other poor soul that's been victimized by this program? Where will they go once I'm gone? Even if I could house them all, they wouldn't be free to leave. Not with Stop on their tail. I just have them move from spacious cell to a cramped one. A cramped one next to a river. Still. I'd never forgive myself if I left Pavel behind. My research led to him getting hurt. And I won't let that happen again. I've done all the planning I can. For now, I think a eulogy to a life of service is in order. To my colleagues, the good ones, I hope you've been working from home. To the rest, you've got no right to complain about what comes next. And to Stop, this is war. Plant any more seeds, and I'll salt the earth. D. Do you think I'm doing the right thing? I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I just want to get Pavel out. Aren't you doing precisely that? Yes. But there is a growing list of asterisks. I can't save the other children. The numbers just don't work. And how does that make you feel? Like garbage. Where will they go? They know nothing about the real world. Kids are tougher than you think. Not tougher than Stop. You'd be surprised. They'll adapt. That doesn't make me feel any better. I doubt anything could right now. What about a confession? I wanted all this. The recognition, the respect, the budgets, the pay. You know, before I came to Stop, I took 5 internships in one summer. Barely got my foot out the door before I added them to my CV and never looked back. And? We all do. That's the game we play. I liked playing that game. I was good at it. And there's a sizable cowardly portion of me that doesn't want to give it up. Do you worry about Dr. Tan and the rest? Despite myself, yes. That's just the kind of person you are. In case we don't get the chance to reconnect for a while, let me say this. Every system falls apart eventually. It's entropy. Forest fires are natural and healthy. Stop is no exception. If people are horrified by your findings and your methods, that's for the best. They'll quit. They'll leave in droves. And you'll have gotten them out of a dark hole. And if I hurt people, then you'll have to make up for it. And the kids, they'll be strong. Even if their new lives aren't cushy or clean, they'll be lives that they choose for themselves. Again, that's not reassuring. I know. Very little is right now. You have a lot to answer for, Dee. You're already a history maker. From here on, I'm sure you'll be making history in a good way. Try to remember that when you eat breakfast with Pavel. Then, is this goodbye? It has to be. But you'll be in my home. I'll be there in some way. In fact, the sheets might still smell like me. Iris, gross! Apologies, couldn't help myself. But you don't need me anymore. You'll do good. You always have. Thank you. Take care now. You are always my star pupil, Daedra. I trust you'll remember me as your mentor and friend. Hopefully when you're retired and peacefully bird watching. Goodbye. I'll miss you, Dr. Sai. Let's salt the earth.
Hello, Pavel.
Oh. Good afternoon, Dr. Daedra.
Feeling all right? Me? I take a lot more than this too. It's okay. You can be honest. Did your graduate training not go well? It was scary and confusing. Could you tell me what happened? What was the training like? They've been running tests on the ship they put in my head. And it turns on it's like my brain is squeezed into a box. Or a minecart. It can only go on the tracks. That does sound scary. Yeah. I had to do all these stupid reflex exercises. And after that, they made me solve math problems and other dumb stuff. And they looked at me over with their clipboards and data pads. So far, I've been doing good. Using everything they wanted, even when it felt weird. It's like someone was looking over my shoulder. Only the shoulder wasn't there, and the somebody was me. And someone else was moving my body. Speaking for me. Like it wasn't my body anymore. I was just so scared. It was gross and strange and... Deep breaths, Pavel. And I just couldn't take it anymore. I did something bad. I was upset. I couldn't help it. I couldn't... Pavel? Pavel! Oh my god. I've got you, Pavel. I've got you. You're safe. I'm going to call emergency services right now. You'll be okay, I promise. Shit. Shit. He's on his side, and there's nothing in his way, and I have a timer, and I've set a timer for 5 minutes. I've done everything I can. Why isn't the emergency call button working? Worked for another trainee, I've seen it before. The maintenance teams always check it. Is there something wrong with this? No. They wouldn't dare. Dr. Deirdre?
Pavel? It's okay, Pavel. It's okay. I'm here.
You had a seizure. But you're safe and I've cleaned you up. It's okay.
Why? Why did they do this to me? Why? It hurts.
Pavel, you have to calm down for me, all right? You're going to make yourself sick.
But
It will be okay. It's over now. I'll make sure they won't hurt you anymore. I mean it. Okay. 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 I give Pavel a glass of water to sip. His hands are shaking, so I hold the water for him. After that, I help him to bed, tuck him in, and wish him good night. Stroke the little amount of hair left on his head. Then I close the door behind me, and I walk out of the room. The door behind me clicks shut. I don't have the words to describe what I just witnessed. But I don't need a 10-page paper to sum up what I feel. Disgust. They took away his medication. His medication. How, in any world, is that justifiable as punishment? He could have died. Pavel gets hammered down because he sticks out, but any kid would do the same. If you're suffering like this, there's no doubt the other trainees are. I need to talk to Angie. Now. I can't believe she's overlooked this for so long. Why are you still questioning? She's the one making the rules. She's the one that did this. Before I leave for good, I need to look into her eyes and make her see. I find Angie at the bridge, gazing at the courtyard below. She looks just like she did the first day I came here. She hasn't changed at all. As I approach, she turns to give me an unreadable look. For a moment, I barely recognize her. For a moment, part of me wants to believe she's someone else entirely.
I imagine you're here to talk about C0458.
I pause. That was unusually direct of her. What do you mean? It's the 21st century, D. We've got cameras in every room. I suddenly remember Shreya. Her gazing up at the corner of the room. Her dark eyes wide with fear. You were watching that whole time? So you saw I called for help? You saw him go into a seizure because he wasn't given his medication? We don't know that. A lot of the trainees hate taking it. They'll put it under the tongue or... That's bullshit and you know it! These are your precious test subjects. Invaluable troves of medical data. If you wanted to, you could get a doctor to any room in this building in seconds. What are you suggesting? It is not a suggestion. You're punishing him for what happened during his graduate training. The tension in the air twists my stomach in knots. She's choosing her next words very carefully. Tasting them in her mouth, rolling them around like a boiled sweet. Nostalgia laps at me for a moment, a warm pull at the back of my mind. She used to do this before her research presentations, worrying the inside of her cheek as she waited for my feedback. Maybe you're right. But does it matter, Dee? She doesn't look back. Excuse me? Does what happened to Pavel matter that much? Once he passes graduate training, he's got a stable career set out ahead of him. He won't for food, housing, or guidance. I can't believe what I'm hearing. In exchange for his legs? His brain? His individuality? Individuality?
What are you, a teenager? Everyone's gotta grow up sometime.
I bite down on my tongue. As much as I want to, cursing her won't get me anywhere.
What's happening isn't complicated, Dee. You've gotten too attached to your subject of research. You've lost sight of your objectivity. That's all. Happens to the best of us sometimes.
Can I throw her off the thing?
Even you.
Can I throw her down? Can I throw her down? She turned back to look at me, but she isn't seeing me. She's done talking. The feeling is mutual. Earlier in the day, I had printed out my case study. I had intended to go through it with a red pen. That night, I fed it to the shredder page by page. Months of work gone in moments. It was the best I'd felt in ages. In a matter of minutes, I'm going to burn down my entire career. Maybe it's fitting that the planning reminded me of how I designed my first cybernetic hand, linking each step to the next like titanium phalanges. While I filed documents, I studied the blind spots in the security. I learned where patrols didn't visit as often, and where security cameras didn't cover the whole room. I participated in fire drills to search for evacuation routes, so that I couldn't avoid them. Fighting back against the YTDI's electronic security was almost easier. Stopping rebels and terrorists back on Stop's heyday had given me a healthy perspective on their tech security. DNA signatures, like the ones attached to our keycards, could be spoofed. An electric lock was useless once you cut down its power. As I went through every step, I expected someone to stop me. A guard who'd catch me leaving packages in a dark corner, or a lab tech who'd find the files I was taking out suspicious. But no one noticed. Even when I slipped into the security room to inject a virus into the systems, I told the staff I was doing an inspection. They looked the other way. Maybe they live hand-to-mouth lives. Maybe they hate the YTDI as much as I do, and want to see it burn to the ground. Whatever the truth is, I'm not interested in psychoanalyzing some lower-level staff. I have one job, and I intend to see it through. Getting to Pavel will be simple. I'll enter his room through the small door on the back. No one will suspect me. They'll think I'm conducting another checkup. Just another inane interview to pad out my case study. Escaping will be a much more complicated task. The security cameras are disabled. The safety alarms rewired. And the escape routes plotted. If things go pear-shaped, there's pyrotechnics I set up ahead of time. Once I trigger the siren, I can't predict who or what will get in the way. My heart's pounding feverishly.
my brain swirling with phases and countermeasures and backups. I am painfully aware of every step and every breath I take. Because once I open the dorm room door, there's no going back. I still have a way out. I can leave this behind and go back to my whole life. Cut ties with Stop quickly, retire quietly to a bucolic existence with honors and accolades to my name. But bury my regret and rage in the back of a well-tended flower bed. But if I don't open this door, Pavel will continue suffering. He might not survive graduation. Even if he does, he'll become a nameless drone, a shell of a person marching through life, harmed with clockwork thoughts and a plastic smile. I can't abandon him. Not to that. Pavel? I'm gonna come closer, okay? Dr. Deirdre? Now listen to me very carefully. I want to give you something. Oh! Is it another snack? It's better.
Pavel, do you want control?
Control? Over what? Your future. I've never really thought about my future. Would you like to? You can take your time. I understand what I'm asking. Yeah.
I do, Dr. Deidre. I want control.
Then take this switch and press this button. As soon as you do, you'll be free.
Let's go.
I take Pavel by the hand and gently guide him out of bed. As his legs clack against the tiles, he wobbles. Do you need help? I ask quietly. We have a lot of ground to cover, and every second's crucial. But if he's in pain, it's okay. Clearly takes him some effort, but he grins up at me. What better way to get used to these legs than a prison break? Despite everything, I chuckle. In between pulses of the siren, I can hear the hurried footsteps of staff and trainees rushing down the hallway. I take his hand, and we walk through the door I came through. Neither of us look back. The back wall of the dormitory is empty. The alarm lights in the halls blink an angry red as the confused personnel jog past us on their way to the emergency stairwell. We walk at first. I try to keep my hammering heart under control as we round the hallway. We're still too visible. I can't help but imagine a security officer behind every door we pass. I squeeze Pavel's hand tighter, and he squeezes it back. His steps are shaky. They shouldn't be. Those idiots in processing couldn't even be bothered to calibrate the motors right. But he's stable. And in spite of everything he's been through, he's keeping pace with me. Then I see it. An imposing door with a small blinking key reader beside it. An exit out of the dormitories. Past it, there lay operating facilities and engineering. Beyond that, the shipping and receiving bay. And further still, the garage door. Our way out. Normally, this part of the facility would be swarming with initiative personnel. But the alarms I triggered
All of them should have evacuated to the opposite side of the building. I don't even swipe my card. The latch clicks open when I push it. Suddenly, my steps are faster. My heartbeat louder. And therefore, I know it. I'm running. Pavel trips on the first step and we nearly crash into each other before he corrects himself. But we run, hand in hand, past the operating rooms, in the offices, and the open security shutters until, without warning, Pavel's legs buckle. They crumple under him like wet paper, sending him sprawling. I fall to my knees behind him and struggle to pull him upright. Yeah, I imagined that they would have some kind of lock mechanism for his legs and maybe even the brain, since he has a chip on his brain. I can't answer him. My eyes go to his legs. The lights are still on, but the battery hasn't run out. But they're not responding to him. I can see him trying to move what's left of his legs, and the cybernetics just won't react. My eyes fall on the sub logo at his ankle. So it's not even that they're giving these kids a future. It's even worse than that, is that they're giving them indentured servitude. Or they will lose their limbs and functions if they don't work for them. Shit. Dr. Deirdre? I'm almost on to laugh, even as my mounting panic threatens to overtake me. Anti-theft measures. They don't want anyone taking saw property outside the building. I can hear yelling echoing back down the hallway we came through, distant but getting louder. They know where we are. What should we do? Dr. Deirdre, I don't want them to find us. Sit still. Quickly. I move to the statue's legs. I leave them on the ground, sweep him up into my arms, and bolt. He clings to me, his fingernails digging into my back through my clothes. His left arm dangles out of my grasp. He's light, far lighter than he should be. As I run for the exit, I squeeze him as close to me as I can. The security shutter suddenly slams shut in front of me. I turn to pivot. But every door down the hallway falling into place as heavy as tombstones. Damn it, damn it! I bite back a scream, try to focus on the facts. Security's at my back. I can hear them getting closer. Combat boots on tile. Heavy and hurried. With every second I sit there, panic and paralyzed, they stomp closer to us. I squeeze my eyes shut. I can feel cold steel gun barrels at my back. Cuffs, bindings, straitjackets. Pavel ripped away from my arms. Disposed of as defective goods are reprogrammed into an ideal product. I can't bear that thought. I reach into my lab coat, pull out the second switch, and press it. Explosions ripped through the hall with a force unlike anything I've ever felt before. They tear through the shutter, blasting me with the heat and smoke and debris that nicks my cheek. I run into it as more and more explosions go off through the facility, my hidden bombs going off like exothermic dominoes. A burst of red and blinding heat sears my right side, probably scattering shrapnel. I push through the pain, running as fast as I can. My ears ring, my muscles scream, my throat stings. All that there is heat and ash and pain, until finally... we reach the light. Wow. I can't believe I actually made it. Pavel, I think we're... Pavel? Pavel? Oh god. Your arm, it's all...
Pavel, please. Speak to me.
Blue.
What?
The sky. It's so blue.
I haven't seen it in so long.
You're hurting. Please don't push yourself.
Mm,
I'll live.
I'll live. I'm no longer there. I'm free now, aren't I?
Yes. Yes. You are.
And that's the photo from All Violence. Oh my god. That was so heart-wrenching. Oh, that was violence on my heart. This was amazing. No notes. I can see how much... I can see how much they grew from one game to the other. I am absolutely on the floor right now. Wow. Wow. Ooh, my heart. Ooh, I had to take a break after all of that. So, I've been gathering my thoughts about the game. Overall, I really liked it. It is a very interesting story, and I loved all the extra world building. It really helped me put pieces that were missing from All Violence on the puzzle, even though there are still some pieces missing. And I wonder if I'll get to piece them together in the next one. I think the artwork improved a lot. The interiors were a bit boring, but that was the whole point, is that place looked miserable. But the rest of the art looked amazing. I loved all the characters. I loved the color shift between the normal days and when Dr. Deirdre found out what they did to Pavel. Speaking of art and art direction, another thing that I loved was the different text boxes. Since this entry was purely a visual novel, it was a nice break of pace to have different kinds of text boxes to help the story flow, to help the dialogue work a lot better in a more interesting way. And the music, I think that Malviolence had more memorable tracks. I think that the songs that they've used for this game always felt adequate to the moment. Now, speaking about the story itself, I will protect caution until the day I die. Don't worry, Dr. Deirdre, I got you. One thing that I liked is that, yes, ultimately, Deirdre is doing this for the children and for Pavel. However, it is also for her, because she doesn't want her legacy to be besmirched. It is about helping the children, but it is also about not wanting her life's work to be stained it showed that the story was not purely motivated by altruism, it was also moved by self-interest, because that is very realistic. I feel like you can be as altruistic as you want, but at the end of the day, you can only devote yourself to a cause if there is a stake in it for you as well. So yeah, I really loved knowing more about Dr. Danger. I loved all the tiny details, like the megaphone on her phone, or her display picture in the chat was also a megaphone. I loved seeing her mental state deteriorate as well through her desk. I thought it was a very nice touch, a very realistic touch. I love that until the end she was like, no, I know this person. I know that I'm not giving up on Angie. And while I was like, no, you shouldn't do that. But that is me looking from the outside. When you're in the situation, you don't want to lose faith on the people you've known for such a big part of your life. But alas, you never know people as much as you think you do. Ultimately, Angie, I think she was just a bad person, even if not because, haha, I love torturing children. No, but just because she lost herself in the numbers. The children became statistics, experiments to bring to fruition. It became about results and not about progress. That being said, if I catch Dr. Tan outside, it's on site. We're gonna battle it out, Dr. Tan. I love seeing the bright side of Pavel. It was delightful to see how happy he was, because we got some notions in Malviolence, but at the end, it's already him dealing with everything he's lost and wanting revenge. Here, he's just still trying to get through school, to try and be himself someday. But you still notice and see in his character how much he's hurting, what he really thinks. You can see his emotional intelligence, and I really, really appreciated that. I got legitimately anxious at some points in the story. I had to take 2 minutes break and just breathe, because I was so into it that I was like, oh no, I am actually dealing with this. What do I do? At some points, I legit had to take a little break because I was getting very, very anxious. So I think that shows how much the story has affected me. But I would have liked to have seen maybe an interview. I know that it was not the point of the story. It was just, I think it's just me being curious. But at the same time, I think it would have helped the story a bit. Maybe seeing an interview or just reading in the reports that Dr. Deirdre interviewed a student that had gone through processing. Or maybe that's the whole point, is that going through processing has not been that successful. Maybe something with the child that Dr. Tan mentioned, the one about the eye. I would have liked to seen something like that. Now, this was purely a visual novel. There were no choices that I made. There are no mini games. There was nothing, which makes sense because this is a prequel. So whatever went down here, it is the story that leads to protoViolence. So in the aspects of gameplay, there is not much that I can tell you. It's just me pressing spacebar to continue the story. So yeah, there was no gameplay. It was purely a visual novel. But overall, my review of this, it is very positive. We still can play the demo for protoViolence, so we'll do that next time. It will be a lot sooner than this episode took. I'm sorry, I am still battling my inner demons. So I'm still trying to find my spot here on the YouTube side of things. But I hope you guys enjoyed protoViolence and Malviolence as much as I have. I'll see you very, very soon with the demo for protoViolence. And until next time, take care out there. Bye bye.